So recently, I was at my doctor's office, and after we'd finished with our routine business, we were making small talk, and my doctor asked me how my job was going. So I told him I had just recently completed an earthquake preparedness campaign, and it was then that my doctor, the man who I entrust with critical health decisions, a world-renowned scientist in his field, turns to me and says, "You're supposed to get in a doorway, right?" It is clear that although we might feel like we've plastered our emergency preparedness slogans all over every social media channel and community bulletin board, we are not succeeding. Our message is not getting through. We need to challenge the conventional methods for communicating risk and preparedness and stop doing things that aren't working. So today, I want to share with you a concept that I've developed for making preparedness messaging interesting. I call it my formula for fun emergency preparedness messaging. So the first ingredient in my formula is actually derived from risk communication research. Studies have shown that one-way methods for communication, such as, tell me if any of these sound familiar, giving a PowerPoint presentation at a town hall, handing a member of the community a flyer at a safety fair, or pointing someone towards your website so that they can read pages and pages of information. These are not shown to be effective. What studies do show is that people are best able to internalize risk and decide to take action when they are able to directly engage with the information that's being presented. So the first ingredient in the formula is to utilize an interactive method. We need to get them talking, we need to get them moving, and we need to give them the opportunity to learn by doing. So then the second formula ingredient is where the fun really comes into play. You should utilize a pop culture theme, something hip, something fun. Think of what would get you to go to a fundraiser or a party. It could be 1920s, Hawaiian luau, pirate party, detective story. This is where you really have the opportunity to get creative and engage them, give them that hook that makes them actually want to participate in your activity. And that third ingredient is to hone in on a specific preparedness message. We plan and prepare for such a variety of natural and man-made hazards, and our toolbox is so vast when it comes to preparedness tips to share with the public. But I truly believe that it is better to thoroughly teach them one subject than it is to just skim the surface on a variety of topics. So I want to share with you a couple of examples of how I put this formula into practice in my previous position as the emergency manager for California State University Northridge. The first campaign that we created was a zombie preparedness scavenger hunt. So in this campaign, we challenged students on campus to prepare for the zombie apocalypse by building emergency preparedness kits. And of course, if you're prepared for the zombie apocalypse, you're prepared for all other types of hazards. So we got different departments across campus to put items that could go into an emergency preparedness kit at checkpoints, and the students would visit all these checkpoints and build their kits. Of course, we also had the staff and volunteers who were working the event wearing zombie makeup to add to the atmosphere of the day. So you can see how this formula here is utilized in that the interactive method is the scavenger hunt, the pop culture theme is zombies, and the message is specifically about emergency preparedness kits. So what did we find? We reached a really critical audience with this. We had 79% of participants report that they had never had an emergency preparedness kit until that day. So in the second semester, we decided to build upon this program, and my team and I actually created an earthquake-themed escape room or puzzle room. And I'm hoping that most of you know what an escape room is, because I know that IAEM has planned an escape room outing as part of this conference. In our particular escape room, we challenge students to form small teams and to come into the room and solve a series of earthquake-related puzzles and actually perform earthquake mitigation techniques in the room as a way to practice preparedness. So they were on a timer for 9 minutes, and after 9 minutes, that's when the earthquake struck. We simulated it by sound, and they had the opportunity to actually practice drop, cover, hold on, the correct thing to do in an earthquake. So you can see in this example that the interactive method is the escape room. The fun theme here was actually that we made it 90s themed, because in Northridge we had our big earthquake in 1994, so we had hacky sacks and lava lamps and all kinds of slap bracelets and fun things like that. And then the third piece, the earthquake, was the specific message. We really only talked about earthquakes in this room. And in this, we found that although 2/3 of participants had never been to an earthquake workshop before, 98% were able to correctly identify what to do in an earthquake. And that's more than I can say for my doctor. So while these statistics are really great for showing the success of the programs and for justifying the expenses to my boss, I want to share with you what really had the most impact on me. And that's something that happened personally a couple of weeks after we put together our escape room for the earthquakes. And I was in a meeting on campus with administrators, and afterward one of them came up to me and told me, "Hey, I sent my student assistants to play in your escape room." And I said, "Oh yeah, how'd they like it?" He said, "They loved it. The first thing they did when they came back to the office was look online to order the proper mitigation straps for the furniture and the bookcases. When they arrived, they installed them. I don't think they ever would have known or wanted to do that if it weren't for your activity." So thank you very much. I have my contact information here. I'm happy to talk more about these after this session.